Yo, what's up toy fans? It's Ben from Bugsy's Toy Box and we're here with a Visionaries special. Right guys, welcome back. Hope everybody's staying safe, hope everybody's staying sane. Just a little bit of a different one from us today. As you saw last week, we both did our toy room tours, mine sort of midweek, Mugsy's on Sunday. So thank you so much to everybody that's watched those and said some really nice stuff and sort of given us some positive comments towards our collection. It means everything. We're always buzzing to see what you guys are collecting. So if anybody's got wants to share your collections with us, drop us a message on any of the social platforms that we're on, Facebook, so Instagram, you know, and show us your collections. But as I said, it's a Visionary special today. So as you saw from my toy room tour, my Visionaries takes pride of place in one of my glass cabinets. So I just thought I'd go through it with you today. For those of you that don't know too much about it, it's an 80s toy line, sort of late 80s. Cartoon came out 87, September I think of 87. There was a short film I think as well. 10 figures in the toy line, all sorts of vehicles and bits and pieces. So yeah, I just thought I'd go through those with you guys today. We'll start off with the good guys, the Spectral Knights. So, right, to begin with, we'll go with probably one of the most iconic characters from the show. We have Leoric. So as you can see, if I can pick up both of the holograms in there, I've got him complete. So he's got his chest piece. Excuse the wobbling. He's got his magical staff and his whip, which is the weapon that he came with. He's awesome. I got these really cool stands off of somebody on Etsy. I'll put a link in the description below because they're really reasonable. I couldn't find anybody outside of the US that was doing them, and if I'd imported them from the US, they were working at about 12 quid a stand, whereas these are only a couple of quid, and they're great. They're 3D printed. They're really cool. You've got black, silver, and gold. So I've got my Spectral Knights on the silver ones to match the colour of their staffs. So he was awesome. So as you guys saw in my video, I'm only missing a couple of bits. Two of the bits that I'm missing to complete this guy. So this is Feral. I'm missing his helmet and his weapon. He was one of the figures that came with a vehicle. You had two figures from each line that didn't come with staffs. So Feral was one of them for the Spectral Knights. The other character that didn't come with a staff, but who I have complete because Tom from Pizarro's Pieces helped me upgrade him. So thank you very much, dude. Let's see if I can get his hologram. It's a wolf hologram, I think, in that one. He's awesome. He came with the Lancer cycle. I've recently got mine out of storage, and you wouldn't have seen it in the collection video the other day. As I say, it's in storage, and I didn't really have any space. Comes with you've got this spring-loaded gun. You've got these two awesome holograms, and I don't know whether my camera's going to pick them up and do them enough justice. Oh yeah, that one is. This is awesome. I'm just missing the plastic canopy on the front. I missed out on that a couple of years ago. Somebody offered one on one of the Facebook groups I'm in, and I didn't snap it up quick enough, and somebody else got an awesome deal on an awesome piece. This is the only vehicle that I've got of the Visionaries, because not the Skyclaw, but the big one is huge. I wouldn't have anywhere to display it. It'd sit on top of the cases like the Turtles are, and at the moment there's not enough space. So I might look at getting that later on down the line, but for me at the moment it's just the figures. Right, carrying on with the Spectral Knights. To go with the last piece I need is the chest piece for Arzon. So he's got his weapon, he's got his helmet, and I've got his staff, which is awesome. As you can see the horse totem on there. I was also, you can see the other one. These all had two images on them. So it's also always really nice when you get the ones in such good condition that you can see both of them fine. They did some that were green, some that were orange. I don't really know what the difference is between the two. I think it was just they brought them out slightly later. One of the two, can't remember which one. I was lucky enough a little while back ago to pick up his backing card from Andy, from Andy's Toys and Models. So thank you very much, dude. As you can see, the sort of the totem beasts sort of come out in these. You've got a hologram on the card of the wizard, who sort of grants everyone with the powers in the first episode of the cartoon. And there's some awesome artwork on these. The colours still pop. They're still so cool. You can see the full line of figures as well at the bottom, without giving too much away. Right, next up we got Cryotech, who I have complete with his chest piece. His totem is the bear, I believe. He's got his sort of three-headed whip, sort of cat and nine tails sort of thing, and his staff as well, which has got a very similar to Arzon's, but there's the horse. So the second picture is different. I don't think it's picking up on this. It might be because it's a tad dusty, and I hadn't cleaned them properly. There you can see it. So he was cool, complete. I need to get some more stands for these, and supporting local business, sort of small businesses, etc. Definitely going to be picking up some of these to add a few more of these bad boys to the stands. Right, lastly, the last one of the Spectral Knights is Whittaquick, with his cheetah emblem there, his boomerang, and his staff. So as you can see, the two images in that one's coming up really nicely in the camera. I just love 80s toys for the holograms. They were so cool. They've all got, what I probably should have done, showing you all these as we were going through, all the helmets, and then you can see all the figures underneath. They're sort of very similar sort of size and articulation, I think, to G.I. Joe's. So sort of for you, those of you that haven't come across them before, that's a sort of easy size comparison for those. Right, now on to the Darkling Lords, so the bad guys. We'll start off with the most famous, which is Darkstorm. You've got him there with his, you see his emblem. I don't know what these are. The Darkling Lords emblems were a little bit more mystical character-wise. They weren't so obvious like a cheetah or a wolf or a bear. But I've got his weapon. I've got him complete, as you can see there. Very Tom Selleck-esque mustache. For you, Dan, as we're going to keep shouting you out whenever we see mustaches in toys. And as you can see with his, you can see it's sort of like a rat thing with wings. And then the second image is some big scary monster style thing. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, maybe it's like a dragon. I don't think the camera's picking it up quite right, but he's complete. So I think, yeah, Darkling Lords, I'm fully complete with these. Right, here we have Cravex with a sort of his dragon totem and his weapon. This guy is really hard to find with, like, he's quite a common figure because I think he's quite prevalent in the cartoons, but he's always missing this backpack, as you can see. Like, I haven't got another loose one to hand to show it to you without it on, but that's sort of quite easily lost. And we've got helmets and stuff. I have got a few sort of spare accessories for these, so if anybody does need anything, we've got a couple of spare staffs and a couple of loose figures, helmets and bits and pieces. Give me a shout, drop us a comment on Facebook at Bugsy's Toy Box or Instagram at Bugsy's Toy Box, and we'll help you guys out. Or if anybody's got any of the Spectral Knights bits that I need, please give me a shout, because I've been hunting them for ages. Talking about hunting things for ages, Bryn from Bryn Credible Customs was kind enough to help me out with Lexor's weapon, this tiny little S-shaped gold thing, which is really, really hard to find. It's a really delicate weapon, and I'm not surprised that they were always lost. But his totem looks a little bit like an armadillo, if I can get that to pick it up. And his staff, sort of dragon thing on it, and this big menacing looking head. So that's cool. He is complete. Right, we have got Sindar, I think, because I'm trying to remember everybody's names for these, and I'm better with the Spectral Knights than I am with the Darkling Lords, even though I prefer the Darkling Lords, if I'm honest. His totem, if you can see from that, is a gorilla. He's sort of the old man of the group, silver fox, as it were. And there you go. It's his totem, his thing. Very similar sticker on this one to Darkstorm's, and what it might have been is that somebody stuck the wrong sticker on this, or it might have been a factory error, because there are a lot of these figures where they put the wrong stickers on the totems, on the chest plates on the front, the wrong stickers on the staffs. So I very much, there's probably a high chance that that's not the right one. I know it's the right staff shape, just maybe not the right totem, because I've never looked at them in too much detail. We used to go to my nan's as kids a couple of times a week, and if we ever stayed, we'd always go to Blockbuster around the corner, and we'd always rent either Visionaries, the Mighty Ducks, or the Three Ninjas. Those were our sort of three iconic kids films. Right, next up is Mordred. He came with Skyclaw, so sort of the opposite of Ektar's vehicle for the Darkling Lords. Also another old dude. His is the spider sort of beetle totem, because he's quite a whiny little sort of character. Quite cool helmets with these. I introduced Muggsy when we first started sort of collecting the toys, and I picked up a couple of Visionaries. I introduced him to the cartoon because he'd never really watched it. And in one of the first episodes, and it's something we shout at each other quite often when we're out and about, it's just, it's something along the lines of cave dweller, as one of them's fallen down, and they're laughing at him because he's fallen down a cliff face. It's quite funny. Not funny that obviously he's fallen down a cliff face, but quite funny that we just do it in silly voices, shouting at each other. Right, last up is the hardest one of all of these figures to find. I mean, they're not that common anyway, but sort of, if you're going to go rarity, this is probably the hardest one to find with all of its bits. So this is Recon. As you can see, he is another one of these ones that doesn't come with a staff, but he has the wrong chest plate. Now, quality control, as I said back in the 80s, wasn't great. So, as you can see, two very similarly coloured characters, same chest plate. It's not uncommon if you find a Recon figure for him to have Ferrell's chest plate. I think it's only about 20% of the ones that came out the factory had the right ones. It's a sort of a big, it looks a bit like a kangaroo cross with an armadillo cross with something else. Like a lizardy sort of style thing. But if you find them, hold on to it. If you want to keep them, if not, you could probably get some decent money for them. But the one I've got, figure-wise, is in amazing condition. We had somebody on Instagram pop up, knowing I was looking for one, and let me know, and we sorted out getting that. I managed to pick up his helmet and his sword randomly in a job lot, not really knowing what they were. And sort of chatting with a couple of people and said, does anybody know what this is? Somebody pointed it out to me and was like, you've probably got the hardest accessories to find. Do you want to sell them? And as soon as I knew what they were, and I knew that there were sort of figures and stuff for this line, I was like, do you know what? Actually, no, I'm going to keep it. Because as I say, watching it as kids, watching the video, I mean, I was born 1990, so I'm not an 80s kid. I kind of wish I was, because maybe I would have got some more of the toys growing up. But I never knew that they made a line of these figures, and if I had done, I definitely would have been asking for them for my birthdays and Christmas and stuff. So as soon as I knew they were doing them, I had to get the set, and as I say, I'm only 3 small pieces away from completing the figures, so that is awesome. Right, I've got 2 more bits Visionary wise. Actually, I've got 3 bits. I've got this awesome little storybook, sort of soft covered storybook called The Price of Freedom. Which is cool. From, when's this from? 88. £1.25 from Tempo Books. But the colours and stuff and the artwork in this is still popping, even though it's over 30 years old. No damage to it. This was a gift from our good friend Jeff, from Jeff Solo. If you haven't watched any of his videos, he does sort of toy reviews and shows what he's been picking up at car boots and toy shows when he gets up to them. So we'll drop a link in the old Boxaroon to his channel. Thanks again, Jeff. And I'm pretty sure this was the VHS that we used to rent from Blockbuster every time we went to my nan's. This is awesome. So as you can see, I'm pretty sure this is the original film, or the cartoon just sort of merged into a film. A couple of stills on the storyline and stuff at the back. That was awesome. Right, guys. Lastly, as I said, you guys saw the toy room tours we did the other day. If you haven't seen them, go and have a watch. But you saw that I've got my poster wall sort of artwork wall starting in the backgrounds. And I've got the instructions for the party wagon, the original Hero Turtles 1988 party wagon. So my Visionaries collection would not be complete without some instructions of their own. So this is for Skyclaw, so Mordred's vehicle. I've sort of framed it up in a nice frame. I need to get a black frame for it actually to keep continuity to everything that's up behind me. But yeah, this was from 1987. Hasbro were the ones that produced the toys and the toy line. So that's got to go pride of place on the wall somewhere. I might put it, might sit underneath the skateboards. What do we think? Stick a comment in the box below. Tell me where I should be putting it. But yeah, so guys, that was my Visionaries collection. We're going to be doing a couple more of these sort of collection style videos. Muggsy will have the next one. He's not decided, I don't think, what he's going to do yet, but he'll go into depth a little bit more. Maybe on one of the lines from Mars, maybe the split seconds one, maybe some of the superpowers. If you guys stick a comment in the bottom of this video, tell us what you want to see next, because you guys were really helpful and you've given us loads of ideas of all sorts of ones we could do. It's just who wants to see what as and when. But as we say always, guys, stay safe, stay home. You're saving lives by staying at home. I know it feels like we're all just sort of trapped, cooped up, but everybody's doing an awesome thing by staying home and staying safe. So, as always, guys, keep unpunched.